Come on, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, folks, let's go, they said excitedly. We are live on Twitch. Hooray. How you doing, folks? There's a few people who've come to see us. I hope they stick around. Either way, we're going to find out what happens on the Ghazali. Yeah.
Ghazali.
I can't say it. I'll just butcher it. It's going to be as bad as trying to say Mörkborg.
Mörkborg.
There we go. So whilst I'm getting schooled on pronunciations, we've got a new face who's joining us this week. Niclas, how you doing, sir?
Hi. Fine, thanks. Great to be here.
Yeah, good. Again, another Effekt Podcast patron.
Yes, we do attract them.
Yep, one or two of those.
Yeah.
All in the Discord where we sorted out this game. I heartily recommend everybody goes and supports Effekt Podcast. We were just indeed talking about some of the things Matthew's published that are like deeper lore on the Coriolis world, because we were talking about funeral rites as we fall into the star, the Haruma star, and all become cremated on the Ghazali. But yeah, so last week we set forth on a rescue mission for the gas mining colony on the Ghazali to save them from some unknown fate. We don't know what was going to happen after a couple of portal jumps there, and it turns out after one portal jump something has gone terribly wrong. The ship is falling into the nearest star. There's no power. A lot of folks are suffering from radiation poisoning. There are wild beasts loose upon the ship. There's a lot of scared stevedores following our intrepid news reporters Ali and Afra around the ship. And we were just about to arrive in Medbay. I don't think I missed anything there, did I? Did any? No, that's it.
We had a conversation with Suleiman.
Carnivorous monsters, what are the horrible carnivorous monsters?
The Nakatra, I believe.
Nakatra.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't.
I just showed you a photo, and you said it was Nakatra, so I have no idea.
Yes.
You're the one with the culture score or the survival score, whatever. Well, that.
We haven't seen them yet. We've just seen these strange paw-like footprints in blood and a destroyed survivor all over the area, and our survivors, who are led by the healthiest looking member of the survivor group, Lahore, who is another stevedore. He says one of their group was picked off by beasts from the dark. I think they slightly annoyed Ali by being like, it's something from the darkness between stars that's followed us. It's an evil spirit come to cleanse the ship or something. And we were like, no, it's a very real thing. Stop that. And they were not entirely convinced. But yeah, I
do remember one little detail of the Nakatra. Did we not see evidence of a bit of a fight amongst them?
Yeah.
And one group of Nakatra heading off with most of the spoils, and another one limping away, possibly bleeding.
Yeah, an injured Nakatra. Yeah, that happened. Bit of politics, even in the Nakatra. Yeah, and we interrogated Suleiman, who was very, very upbeat about the whole situation. But also, yeah, you've got 18 hours to sort this out, and if you could tell the captain, that'd be great, because he couldn't get in touch with him. And then he lit a path for us to arrive at the med bay, which is I think where we probably start this session. In med bay. So the entrance to med bay, the medical labs, there is a big open area, and you can see that there are cushions and carpets kind of sat down and around. There are a few people here in the waiting room, sort of spread out. A lot of them look still a little ill, like a lot of the stevedores that you found. Afra and Ali, you are, and Lahore seem to be some of the more healthier members of the survivors. One thing you sort of note, there is a woman in the corner, and she has one of these glowing sugar globes, like the light kind of things, and she's got this in her lap, and she's muttering and whispering to some folks who seem to be, it looks like she's more sort of reading fortunes or telling the future and that kind of stuff with it. She's very much kind of chatting and hushed whispers. On the left side, you can see a set of doors that have like the main room. What do they call it in the book? Without me trying to. Admission is what it says on your left. And then on the right, it's got a storage room. Both the doors are locked, and nobody seems to be, well, obviously everybody's a bit stressed and panicked, but nobody seems to be overly hysterical here.
At the same time, nobody seems to be in charge, or is there...
Nobody seems to be directing people in this waiting area. They seem to be more comfortable with the situation, like they know they're not in charge, but obviously they're not standing up to greet you, or so somebody else must be in charge of this kind of stuff.
Right. So I'm just looking at my character sheet here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do have some Medikurgi. My primary role, though, I'm no surgeon. My role is cameraman.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing my job, and I'm directing the camera drone to do a pan around the room, just looking at everything. I guess I'm thinking it's probably plugged into my, or not plugged into literally, but I get a feed in my targeting scope.
Some sort of future space Bluetooth.
And so I'm panning around. I'm particularly kind of interested in, or what draws my attention as I pan around, is the woman you described who's holding the sugar globe and has a bit of an audience. Is that?
Yeah, she's got like 3 or 4 people sat around her quite close. She's muttering something about the icons and how it was... it's very fortuitous that she's here. She's glad she listened to the icons. As she sort of goes on, she then one of them is like, "Oh, tell me what the icons see in me. What is my future?" And I think that's probably where you'll hear her name. Let me just double check it before I give a name. Kamina, tell me what the icons see in me. Tell me. And this old-looking woman, and the light from the sugar globe doesn't do her any favors. Kind of like the shot
lighting up.
Yeah, lighting up. So she looks even more like a Disney villain style evil crone kind of moment as she looks with glee at this person who's asked for their fortune, and she's like, well, and then she spits on the sugar globe with like filthy, like she's chewing some sort of tobacco or arash or something. She spits it on the sugar globe, and then she rubs it over to kind of begin, and she's probably muttering some sort of prayer, some sort of well-known, I want to say something like, the Lord's Prayer, but obviously that's not applicable here, and I don't know the Coriolis version, but one of those, something that every child would kind of know. She begins muttering that to herself, and sort of trying to divine the futures for this person who is asked. As Afra kind of pans around the room, the doors to admission open up, and probably framing the shot perfectly for the news feature, you see in Samaritan robes a old gent stand in the doorway.
Brother Robwa.
I
happen to know him because obviously I'm running the sequel scenario.
Yeah.
He features in that. They mention he features here. I don't know him as a character though.
Yes, no, we don't know him as a character yet. But the door opens, and he's there in his Samaritan robes with like headdress and long kind of tabard and everything that goes with it. His hands, he's probably like taking off some sort of surgical or blood stained, like bodily fluid stained gloves. As he throws them in some sort of bin or disposal chute out of sight, and he greets you. He sort of looks at this ragtag bunch that Afra and Ali have gathered together, and he sort of greets you with like, "Oh, survivors, come, we can let me look you over." And he sort of begins trying to like inspect people and direct it. You know, he wants to triage the situation, so to speak. And as he's looking over some of the stevedores, he's directing them and pushing them one way, or maybe sending, go and take up bed number 3. Go over, head over that way, to that kind of stuff. He sort of in between all this looks over at probably Afra if they're the ones kind of in the middle of the room, or maybe is Ali like dynamic reporter pose?
If anybody ever looks at me, I always look to Ali, and and I might at this point break away from the camera shot of the old woman giving her prophecy and turn around so that Ali and it will turn the drone round so that Ali and the Samaritan are neatly framed in a good interview shot.
Okay, so yeah, he
nice. Thank you.
Looks over to Ali, stops a moment to take in their hypnotic and beautiful eyes, and says, "Which way did you come from? We've only had survivors from this section of the ship. Where were you? And then he directs one of the stevedores over that way, and.
Funnily enough, I then looked to Afra.
So you were at the back of the ship near the docks. You were like.
That's right. We were. That's right.
Because you were one of the last folks on board. Yeah.
But if Ali looks to me, I will say that. So we were in a room off the main dining hall, by my recollection.
Mm-hmm.
There were 2 or 3 survivors still in cryo unit, but I recognised that they would need anti-radiation drugs before we revive them. If we tried to revive them as they were, they'd die through the process. So we came here looking for the anti-radiation drugs or the radiation treatment.
So he looks at you, Afra, with like, "Oh yes, such good thinking. Yes, we have a small amount of radiation drugs here in the med lab. A lot of the other medicine we stored in some of the cargo for quick taking to the
refugees."
He just sort of like, we didn't expect it to do so much of our own treatment here. We are more set up for trauma in this place, but we'll do what we can, because that is what we must. And he once he's finished triaging these folks, do you let him come and give you a look over, or do you no fussing?
Yes, no, absolutely. It just occurred to me that we haven't, like, there were people dying of radiation poisoning in our pod, and we've never considered whether we were poisoned with radiation. So yes, I think we should let him look us over, see if we're dying from radiation poisoning.
I will take a step back, but again, get the camera drone to record the treatment.
Yeah, so he does look Ali over. He takes a moment, bit of triage goes on, and he says, "Oh, you must have been close to the insides of the ship. Just a little bit of favor from the icons for you, friend. You seem to be relatively unscathed, which is good. Means more medicine for those who will need it." And he says, "Perhaps you can offer some comfort to the folks who," and he sort of trails off in a manner of like, "There are folks who aren't going to survive," kind of thing.
Right. So I don't think Ali actually knows this guy's name. Because I know.
And
so
Matthew does.
Go,
but...
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. So So as he's checking me over, Ali will like, Marhaban, my name is Ali bin Usif, and yours, Doctor. What is it?
He says,
for the audience.
Yes. He then suddenly looks directly at the drone camera, like you shouldn't, like directly at it in a sort of, Brother Ramus, Samaritans from Coriolis, we've come to offer support, medical aid to all who need it. All who need it will be treated. What is Ali's manipulation? In fact, you could make a manipulation roll making the manipulation roll as he says this.
Okay.
Let's see if Ali spots something that.
2 plus 2, yeah, that's enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope.
No.
Nope.
All right. Yeah.
Nope.
All who
Nope.
come will be treated. All will be treated. As
Excellent.
he looks around. Always here to help wherever is needed. Do you know we run many soup kitchens in Coriolis? Obviously, he's had a bit of media training, and in this moment of stress, he's just falling on I must repeat these things so that we don't get in trouble.
There are 3 messages I must give before the interview is over.
Yeah.
Nice.
That kind of thing. We are that kind of stuff.
Brother Ramas, have you any idea what happened to the ship? Have you met anyone who has any idea, like any of the crew? Have you seen any of the command crew, for instance, of the ship in your time
his head.
here?
He says, no, we've tried to interface with Suleiman, but he seems to only have limited information. He keeps asking us to rally the captain or the first officer, but we've seen none of the senior crew here. And he points around. There are a couple of like stevedores about, but mostly it looks like folks like yourself, like people who signed on to be rescue workers, folks who are not part of the ship's crew. I was tending, and he gestures to, you can hear people moaning, and perhaps there's 1 or 2 other people who like Afra have a little bit of medicurgy, but not necessarily actual training. And you can see there's mostly just sort of mopping of brows and bringing of water.
I had training.
Yeah,
just combat training.
Yeah, so similar kind of things, like, I know how to clean up sick. I know how to not bother with you because you're probably going to die. That kind of sort of thing.
Triage and bullet removal. That's my thing.
Yeah. So it seems like Brother Ramus is the only medically trained person here, like serious medical, I can save your life style stuff, rather than I can stop you dying for now. And there are no members of the senior crew. Nobody who could give you access to a weapons locker, nobody who could tell you more of what's happened. Nobody.
So how far are we? So a couple of things that just to confirm. So there's an awful lot of people in here in comparison to the size of the ship that we at least own.
Yes, there's definitely more than the 2 beds and the 2 seats.
Yeah.
I think it's 1 seat.
And even if we,
is it?
Yes, I was going to say, yes. I think we agreed we had to swap in and out of the cockpit seat. Mm-hmm. And the second question is, how far are we from the bridge?
You're actually quite close to the bridge. It would be, so the whole of the Ghazali, I'm trying, is about 1 kilometre long. The med lab is about 300 meters in. The bridge is halfway point, and then everything else is further up. So you're about 200 meters through collapsed tunnels and unworking elevator shafts and whatever else between here and there. So not far.
Because we have to get off the ship or get the ship working in the next
18
how many hours was it? 18 hours.
Yeah.
According to Suleiman, yeah.
Yeah. Indeed, if you can trust Suleiman's calculations, he has been very laggy. He's obviously having some sort of processor malfunction, problem accessing his secondary processor core or other technological things that Millie the GM does not know about in the future space.
So, Doctor, or rather Brother Ramas, who of the people you have treated would you say are most fit and hale and might be able to assist us in making a attempt to reach the dock and the bays where the ships were stored?
There was probably about 15 people here when you arrived. Yep. You've brought maybe, including yourselves, another 10. Of these 25 or so people, he gestures to about 6 or 7 plus yourselves. Yep.
Turning the camera drone over to look at those 6 or 7.
Yeah, so they're sort of scattered around in the stuff. You can see that they've probably got some sort of water or liquid, at least some sort of drink there's going on. Everybody looks fairly dazed or very stressed, very on edge kind of thing. So he says,
all right,
and they all look to be the rescue workers or stevedores, like a fair and even mix.
Okay. Afra.
Okay. It's probably time to change the batteries on the drone anyway, so I bring it in.
Right. So Afra, we need to talk. So, let's go over here, basically, is my simplistic way to gesture. So what I'm thinking is we get together a group of reasonably tough people, grab some poles and other things in case we have to fight off horrific carnivorous humanoids who eat people, and make a run for the docks, because there were a number of ships in the docks. It wasn't just ours that was parked in there. There were a number of ships. So 2 pieces of thinking there. 1, we might be able to get equipment from the ships that are in the docks. And 2, if we can make our way to those ships, certainly we had extra weapons on ours. It's possible other ships have weapons, and we can then come back and escort the entire group of survivors to the ships and make a run for it.
Seems a long-winded way, but what about the bridge? There should be
collapsed tunnels, non-working elevators, whereas we know there's a path to the docks.
Just to sow discord.
We know there's
the
a
hangars,
path back to the...
I keep on saying docks. I meant to say hangars.
The hangar, yeah. We know there's a path back to the rooms that we woke up in, which are near the hangars. We don't know what obstructions there are between there and the hangars.
But
I'll go with what you say.
To pique Ali's curiosity, Afra would definitely know. On the bridge would be the what is it? The emerald crystal.
The emerald disc. Yeah,
the emerald disc, which is the black box. It would have.
We'd know what would happen.
All the information of what happened to the Ghazali on it. All the truth.
Does Afra mention that to Ali?
All the truth. So while you're discussing this,
remember, we're here not to rescue the crew of the ship, but to record their demise.
Yes, indeed.
That's right.
So while Afra and Ali are discussing this,
such good people.
Fayaz, Niclas, how does Fayaz arrive at the medical facility since their startling discovery somewhere further up the ship?
So he walks in, a bit confused. He's a guy with black hair, quite an open face, a slight smile on his face, trying to signal that everything is more or less okay. Maybe on the inside, maybe things aren't, but and he tries to sort of gauge the situation and see who's in charge here. And well, I guess he sees Brother Ramas and
yeah. So as he enters the area, there is a Samaritan doctor dressed, talking with a gent in robes. How does Ali dress? It's full ceremonial.
I'm wearing a flight suit. Oh, sorry, Ali.
Yeah, full ceremonial.
Ali, like full-on traditional look and feel. He's got the whole face covering. You can only see his eyes. He's wearing black jabilia and underrobes and the full turban. Yeah, he couldn't be more traditional if he tried.
Yeah. So those two are talking. Oh, actually, no. So this person in the traditional robes is off to a side talking to somebody in like flight suits and stuff. You can see that there is perhaps a recon drone floating around, and this under their arm or something as they're talking. And then there is a Samaritan who is probably handing like space ibuprofen out to people. It's not going to do much, but it might make them feel a little bit better as he makes his way around some of these folks in this open reception style area of the med lab.
Yeah. So he walks up in his dirty overalls and embroidered vest with all sorts of stuff in it, and he walks up to the Samaritan sort of cautiously, but sort of sorry, are you in charge here? We have found some people. They're trapped.
And he looks at you. He's like, and Brother Ramas immediately looks at Ali, who was talking about rallying people to help, and he's like, excuse me. And Brother Ramas puts his hand on your shoulder, Fayaz, and is like, oh yes, such fortune. And he kind of brings you over by the shoulder to Ali, and is like, let's and sort of gestures for you to continue.
So
Marhaban. Yeah. Who are you?
Salam. Fayaz. I'm not important. Anyway, we've got these the people trapped in the chapel. It seems like there's really no way out for them.
How far away is the chapel?
There's open space.
It is about another. It's another 200 meters up from the bridge. It's near the front of the ship, and it's on the outer and the outside of the ship as well. It had a nice dome over it.
So just to be clear, sorry, I misunderstood. So the bridge is basically in the middle of the ship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So they're on the other side of the bridge from us.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we should go to the bridge and see what we can do to get to the people who are... Sorry, when you said open space, did you mean they were surrounded by vacuum in some way?
Yes.
They've got a window.
We must hurry.
Sorry. So the chapel is depressurized.
No, the chapel we think is not, and there are people in there, but there's no way out of there. It's decompressed all around them.
Awesome.
Do you think there's anything that we can do, Fayaz? Is there anything that, with more hands, you think we can achieve to get them out? Or should they pray to the icons while they can? This is a triage situation. There are definitely people that I know I can save back by the dining room. We may be able to save everybody in here. I'm just worried that this might be a fool's errand, and maybe they should trust to the messenger, the deckhand, and the Lady of Tears to guide them through.
Brother Ramus pales.
Yeah, that's it.
Like he's like, we can't in good faith leave them to die.
Oh, and the judge. And don't worry, and the judge.
Oh, is he part of that? Is that what the Samaritans belong to? Do they belong to the purists?
Zalosians, yeah.
Out of Coriolis, he might be more known as one of the martyrs rather than a Samaritan. He has quite a good rep on Coriolis, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But,
I'm just a
how
dock worker. I don't know about these things.
No, Fayez, you've come to us with this message. I mean, I think this is a great moment. Have you turned the camera back on, Afra?
Okay, I'm just noticing I'm putting the new batteries in and getting it flying again.
Nice. All right. No, Fayez. Sorry, repeat your message.
Well, we have these. There are people trapped in the chapel, and we must hurry and save them. They are trapped.
So how do you know they're trapped in the chapel, Fayez?
Well, they managed to get some message out. So one of them had a communicator and broadcast on their short range and my communicator managed to pick it up. This is all I know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think our first step in saving them obviously has to be to go to the bridge. I'm just confirming. Afra did tell Ali about the emerald, right?
I did tell you about the emerald disc. Yes.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Look, we obviously need to go to the bridge to see whether we can get better clarity on what's happening in the chapel, and perhaps we'll find EVA suits. Perhaps we'll find some way of assisting them.
Yeah. Very good. Yes.
So,
that
Fayez,
is what we
do you
need
know the
to
way
do.
to the bridge?
Yeah.
Millie, do I?
Yeah. I imagine you would have, if not come direct, because it's on the way, so you would have passed under the area that would be the bridge. Maybe you're a couple of floors lower, because the bridge has its own sort of little bit on top, if you will.
It's on top, and then the chapel is further on.
Yes.
But on a lower level, so to say. Right. Yeah. So
it's its own sort of pokey out bridge.
Right. Because Ali loves an audience, Ali will literally stand up at this point, look at the 6 or 7 or mostly well people. Brothers.
Desperately panning back on the drone here to try and capture the whole scene.
In the name Makamiru, in the name of the gambler, I ask for your assistance. We need to take a risk to save many. I call upon El Belharu, the deckhand, to work with us. And I ask that you submit yourselves to El Qadi, the judge, that we may gather together and rescue these, our brothers, who are trapped in this place of darkness. Can I make a manipulation roll on the basis of that?
Of course you can, yes.
Going to give him a bonus for hurting all those names?
Yes. Let's have 1 + 1.
There was a lot of Arabic research today, just to be clear.
Frantically searching.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to push that. That's not acceptable. Which is the icon for manipulation?
Good question. I need to always check.
I should have that written down next to these guys. That'll actually make it very useful later on when I've gone to all that trouble. All right, whoever it is, I'm calling upon their name. I'm rolling again. That's much better. All right, that's 3 successes with the push.
Nice. All right. So you call out to them to help and rescue these people, and this other gent stands up to kind of almost like a you think you're in charge moment, and he stands up on the other side of the room, and he says at the end of it all, who are these people just arriving, think they know who we should save and choose who to risk our lives for? We know nothing of these. We should be heading to the docks. These stevedores here, they know where some of the ships are. We should be heading back and making sure we can get ourselves. And there is a moment of pull and push, between this beady dude with a cape. He looks awfully pretentious. Where is he from? Oh no, you can't. It doesn't say, so I can't tell. But everybody sort of, because that was terrible. Everybody sort of looks at this dude and is like, "No, they're right. We should help. More hands to help." And he scowls at you, Afra, as everybody rallies to your cause, and sort of sits back down and takes a sip from a flask as he watches you in the camera light, looking cool. But yeah, these folks rally to your cause. Most of them look quite well. They are indeed the ones that Brother Ramas is sure don't need as much medicine, or perhaps like yourselves have been lucky enough not to suffer through the worst radiation possible. Yeah, you've got a little troop of folks ready to jump and help. What's the plan?
Okay, brothers, gather up whatever you can find that you might use as a weapon or perhaps as a form of tool in case we have to lever open doors. And Fayez, lead us towards the bridge.
Okay.
Yeah, follow me. This way.
So, get a good shot of Fayez. He looks. We could build him up.
How does Fayez look as he's like now suddenly like the point man?
Well, he's very uncomfortable and sort of even is sort of shies towards the side of the corridors. He doesn't want to, and he sort of urges people on, but doesn't really want to take center stage really. But I guess he realizes that he knows the way, so he has to lead. But yeah, not comfortable with this.
Yeah. All right. So we head off following Fayaz on a vague direction towards the bridge. I'm such a Luddite. I had to print out the adventure because I was like, this PDF stuff is just driving me bonkers. Okay. So as we're heading along, you know that in the old faded sort of elegant script on the walls that we're using for directions around the ship, you can see that there is an elevator shaft, a lift shaft that has bridge access written on it. Doesn't seem to have enough power to it to open the doors. It's like flickering, and you tap the button a couple of times and it doesn't open.
Okay. Fayez, you look like a handy man with a wrench. Can you get this door open?
I can try.
Bring the camera around.
I can.
Brother, that is all the icons ask of us, that we but try.
Yeah.
May the deckhand guide your hands. That's dreadful.
So I only have four dice in this, and there's no one with technology that, because I believe it's a technology roll, right?
Well, you've got a couple of approaches here. You could try and rewire and direct, like take some power from the overhead flickering lights and try and read. So it could be a technology roll, or you could literally just like get your you've probably got some sort of lever and force the doors open.
Yeah, that's more his style actually.
Okay. Yeah, so it would be a force roll. Yeah, so the deckhand definitely needs to be watching over this as you lean in.
And is someone helping?
Some of the extra friends that you've gathered, these four chaps who are coming with you, they'll lean in as well, so you can have a +1, an extra dice from them.
Right. 2 successes.
Excellent. For no reason, I will spend a darkness point to do something.
You don't have to.
I don't have to, no. But it's more exciting. So you and this other chap lean, push as he finishes pushing. Wait, one of you pushes on a crowbar. The other one gets their hand around the side of the door and wrench it open. You see that there is in the lift shaft a fire, like fire rolls out the front of the door. There's a moment where Fayez and this chap leap back and just crackling wave of flame in the lift shaft.
Oh.
Yeah.
Close it.
Yeah. If you take your hands off the door, it just sort of slowly kind of closes out through its winch mechanism. But the lift shaft is completely flambéed.
And that looked to be a permanent fire in the lift shaft. It wasn't being put out by anything.
Well, certainly nothing you have at hand here.
You did say there's a control panel nearby.
Yeah, there's definitely some sort of...
I've got technology. Can I find a way? I'm sure these things are equipped with internal extinguishers.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Can I try and find a way of getting it working?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anybody else got technology that can help me?
The guys who are with you don't.
Yep.
Oh,
yes.
I do. Fayez.
Fayez does. So I'm rolling 6 dice, but you can give me a dice as well, Fayez.
Yep. Yes.
Okay, so 7 in total, and I get 2 successes.
Oh, excellent. So worrying that this might eat into our time more. Of only 18 hours and we're on our way to the bridge and that would take some time. Panicking, working at pace, you work out how the fire suppressant systems should kick in, and it's essentially ensuring the lift shaft is tight and just sucking out all the oxygen, and it just turns on some sort of turbine that would normally eject or circulate air between decks, and it just sort of stops,
opens it to the vacuum,
and reverses, and after a moment you then reinitialize the airflow kind of thing, and it confirms any fires should have been put out, but it doesn't have enough information to say yes.
Okay, so it's not going to open the doors automatically again, so I turn to Fayez. Can you do your lever thing?
We do our lever thing again, right?
Yeah. Let's make another force roll. Let's see if we struggle through.
1 success.
Yeah, 1 success is all we need. And we wedge open the door. We can indeed see the lift shaft now. It all looks... a combination of slightly charred but also very cold after having all the atmosphere sucked through it, and you can see just on the side there is this ladder that climbs up towards the bridge.
Shall we go?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You want us all to make a dexterity roll?
Yes, yeah. Is it dexterity or move in this one?
It would be dexterity.
Dexterity.
Dexterity indeed.
So that will be your agility plus dexterity skill if you are trained, like I am. Right, well, it's quite cold. I'm spending a darkness point. I imagined this would be easier than it is, but I do finally get a success.
Excellent.
Well, Fayez prays as well, but does not succeed.
Okay, so it's not that you fall down, you take an injury, or you don't make it to the bridge. It just takes it's such hard work. It's such a long climb. You've had such a day of it.
Yeah.
It takes longer than you would hope. And by the time we've reached the bridge, we've already used one of our 18 hours. So our 17 energy points is if we had them around the little map instead of 18. For this, we've probably walked 300, 400 meters through different corridors and around, and now we're going up another couple of... So we've done a couple of K this morning already, and we're suffering through it. No, back up a bit. Reverse. There's the bridge. All right, so as you get to the level of the bridge and the lift shaft, we spend some time forcing open the doors to get us onto the what would it be? It would be like the reception area or the opening of the bridge before you enter the command area. We open it up and there are like yellow or red flashing lights, and the doors to the bridge, you can see that there is this heavy bulkhead, and on the bulkhead it's printed like, if this door is closed, there will be vacuum. Yeah, there will be vacuum beyond.
Are there in this lobby any exoshells?
Yes, there are. There are 4.
Oh, that's handy.
That's exciting.
Because
we brought 4 people with us. That's what you're thinking, right?
No, there are 3 of us. And we also brought 4 people with us.
Yeah,
so
there's
we're
about
going to have
7
to send
of you in total.
We're going to have to send at least 3 of them back down the lift shaft so that we don't kill them when we open this door.
Nice.
I matter-of-factly start getting into the exoshell.
Yeah.
Muttering a little bit that it's always better to have your own exoshell than one that you've picked up off a ship, which is a callback to the last episode of this show.
Should have packed it into the personal locker. So we begin putting up, we send these folks down and say, look, we're gonna open the door. You don't want to be here when we do. Is that what happens here?
Yeah, except I guess we could take one of our hangers on with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or are we going to need a 4th suit for any survivors in the bridge?
Well, there won't be any survivors in the bridge if they're not in exosuits, right?
Well, they may have got into an emergency. I mean,
True. And actually, irrespective. Yeah.
Let's send all 4 of them down.
Okay. All right. So we send these folks, and they look at you, and they probably give, may the icons bless you in this endeavor, kind of parting as they close the door and disappear down the lift shaft again. Are we sending them back to the medical center? Is that where we're saying, look, head back there?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
What about the people trapped in the chapel? We need maybe
They could head towards the chapel and possibly be there when we arrive. See what they can do.
You're gonna sort this, and they should head towards the chapel and begin sort of preparing whatever they can.
Yeah, I mean, they may even rescue the guys while we're doing this job.
They might.
I mean, it's not like we're protagonists or anything.
I know. It's not like
everybody's equally capable of action.
It's not a Star Trek show. I mean, there are the crew can do something. They don't need the command crew to do everything for them.
Well, of course, as soon as they're out of sight, they'll stop working and just freeze until we approach.
They'll just start playing dice or something in the corridor. That's all they'll do. So we send these folks there to go ahead while you check out the bridge. They'll look for more exosuits. They'll look for anything that might help get to the chapel, and they'll start checking things out as they head that way. So we spend some time putting on these suits. we prepare ourselves to override the breach systems.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we pop it.
And then we sort of, all right, stand by for this, because what little bit of air is in here is gonna.
Yeah.
Yes, I will tie. If there's some way, and there should be, because we're in exo suits, I will make sure I'm attached to something so that when we open the door, I don't get flung out.
And, yeah.
Okay.
Well, Fayez does that too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not a trauma to do.
And being an experienced spacer, obviously I do that too.
Yes, we are all.
It's just that I didn't really feel it was worth mentioning, because it's just what
so
everybody does. It's not because I forgot something as basic as that or anything.
Yes.
All right. So we open this bulkhead. It takes a moment or so to be like, "Are you sure? Are you sure? You're sure?" It's not an easy thing to convince the deck systems to let you in. But we managed to convince it. It opens the door, and you see the ornate looking, beautiful bridge kind of emblem upon the door with the beautiful calligraphy of the ship's name. And then as that opens further, we get a beautiful look out straight into space, and this debris field on the other side, where there would be a huge sort of dome that you can imagine the captain of the ship would be able to see and look across the front of his ship and watch as you venture out into space. There is indeed space and bits of the ship floating in front of it. And you can see that there are screens still sort of giving off information and readouts, things going on. There's a command sort of terminal. Strapped into one of the chairs on the side is a crew member, and you can see their arms floating as they are clearly dead in space. Crushed under a beam or some of the architecture here. On the other side is what looks to be the lower torso of another member of the bridge crew. It's a bit of a scene, but there seems to be power and information going here. None of the emergency systems, like what are they? The ED, the like shield-like technology, hasn't kicked in to maintain some sort of field. Ooh, hi Bez and folks. We've just been raided on Twitch by Bez. Hello folks, we're playing Coriolis. Coriolis is a Free League RPG. We're in the middle of a scenario called The Last Voyage of the Ghazali, and we've just arrived at the bridge, which is open to space. Our three heroes, Afra, Ali and Fayez, are trying to find out what's going on. Thanks for joining us. But yeah, there's a dead person strapped into a chair, and it looks like somebody's been impaled, and the systems that would maintain an atmosphere, a seal in here, have not kicked in and helped.
I've got the camera
debris field
recording the scene of devastation.
Yeah.
We don't have 20th century sensibilities, so I'm including the dead bodies in this because I know what our viewers like. It's the truth.
It's the truth, yeah.
And then I end that slow pan back on Ali as I look at him.
Oh my God.
I have patched your suit comms into the mic system.
Yeah, we've all got communications between us, and then also on the drone.
Marhaban, my friends. Before us, we see a scene of devastation. As you can see, more damage was done to the ship than was initially indicated. It looks like something has actually damaged the entire bridge, possibly even destroying the computer. Myself and my cameraman, Afra, and this good man, Fayez, point to Fayez, pan to Fayez, are about to explore the bridge and see what we can find. Perhaps there'll be evidence of whoever is responsible for this terrible crime.
Now,
and then I'll move into the
while
space.
I've been saying that speech, I've actually been going to the pilot console because there's a thing I know about. It's flying ships.
Yes.
We're heading into the sun, somebody told me about an hour ago. And they said we only had 18 hours to turn around. And I'd like to see whether it's as simple as simply steering the ship the other way.
Yeah.
So can I first of all at the pilot's console do a status check of the systems and see how flyable the ship is?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So there's basic information coming up on these systems. Most of them seem to be you don't need to like put in a secret code to get access to them. They are just rotating through the status. It's like propulsion is out, life support is minimal and running on like the third generator or the third power system that they've got in here. Multiple hull breaches. Communication system is not operative, so they can't send out their automatic kind of pings, the help me pings that would kick in. There are internal sort of communications are not working either. There is some sort of block between here and communication with any of the engine systems and the computer systems. And it seems like there is something tying up, something lagging the ship. Like there's some like I guess we would think like there's some sort of corruption in the software or some sort of bloatware or a bug or it could be because the Ghazali is so old. It is a very old cruise liner or.
Okay, I'm reporting all of that. I don't normally like talking on camera, but I'm a trained spacer, so I say it as though I'm speaking to a captain who doesn't exist. Or the Ali and Fayez are my captain, and immediately I'm as soon as I sense that that stutter, and I'm reminded that Suleiman wasn't functioning properly, so I head from the pilot's console over to the data gen console, and I start having a look at that and see if I can identify the cause of that.
Yeah, this will need a test. This will need a data gen test.
Okay, I have a skill in that, I believe. I'm not great at it. I've just got to find my cat sheet. There we go. I'm data gen 2. I'm not bad at it, actually. Fayez, you experience with data systems?
No, not at all, Sahib. Not at all. I'm
up to me then. Ali, can you help? You can't. What sort of journalist do you call yourself? You haven't got basic data skills.
That's what you're for, Afra.
That's right.
However,
I talk to people.
I do get a single success on that.
Okay, so it's confusing. It looks like. I guess you would have understood it, like from your pilot training and your perhaps combat training and that sort of side of Afra. Almost like the ship has been caught in like a part, like the tail end of an EMP style attack. It's definitely not. You're shielded for the sort of interference.
Yeah, there's data attacks and stuff like that.
But this is definitely not a directed attack at the Ghazali, and it's not interference from, like, obviously suns and big spatial bodies put out awful interference, and the shielding, even though it's old on the ship, is up to spec for that. Yeah. This is like a really it's not a current style of shielding or technology is it's like there's something about it you can't quite fathom, but it's some sort of EMP disruption data. That's causing the interference.
Do I think it's getting worse?
No, it doesn't look like it's getting worse, but Suleiman, the data systems don't seem to have enough, like that. It's fighting too many jobs. So you'd have to tell it to stop trying to keep people alive to dedicate the processing kind of thing. Like Suleiman's priorities are fighting between, can I get the systems back online to stop us falling into the star? Can I do that? Can I do that? Can I keep the and because he's stretched so thin, he can't restore himself.
I explain all that again in a sort of reporting way to my two captains here, and matter of fact,
could we reduce the load on the computing system? So could we find out, so does it need to maintain the entire ship, or could it just maintain the areas where there are people, for instance? So is it trying to do too much? And if so, can we direct it so it does less and therefore has more computing power?
From Afra's look over the systems, you don't think you either have the knowledge to manipulate that bigger load on the ship. Like this would be a seriously in-depth kind of thing, and if you had that knowledge, you wouldn't be in the predicament you're in. This is something that the crew of the bridge crew of the ship are needed to do. This is a little bit beyond some pilot training and
so there's one thing we came here for, and that's to grab the emerald disc. Another thing, though, that I thought we might need that spare suit for is, do they have bridge crew cryo beds here for, and did any of the bridge crew manage to get to nearby cryo beds as a way of protecting themselves from the decompression?
No. The only folks that, if they were, they're in the bit of the bridge that is no longer here.
Right.
The only folks you can see is this dead person strapped into a chair. Looks like they're over at some sort of communications panel, and the person who is partially impaled on the other side of the bridge in the architecture.
So is there nothing here? I turn to Ali and I say, I think there's nothing here we can do except get the emerald disc out, which I guess is the job for me.
But can we ask before we rip what I assume will be the heart of the computing system out of it, is there a couple of things? So first of all, are the bridge crew armed? So the two dead bridge crew, are they armed? Are they carrying any equipment of any kind that we can use?
They might do. And also, I guess Fayez would know, being a stevedore on the ship, there would be the arms locker here.
Yeah, that was where I was going next.
Yeah,
and how is the arms locker unlocked?
It would either be authorization from the captain or one of the senior bridge crew through methods of perhaps like an ID card, or
looks at the hole into the vacuum and goes, probably not going to get any of that.
Hold on, we could just try this. You've got decent manipulation.
I do.
So just if I take the emerald disc away, it doesn't pull the heart out of the AI system. The emerald disc is like a black box on a
okay.
It's
literally like a lot of stuff will go through the emerald disc, and it will get like hard recorded. It's like a solid state version of everything rather than the digital records.
So if you address Suleiman here, possibly in the bridge, you can convince him that given the devastation here, you are taking command of the vessel and need to have all the rights of a commanding officer.
Okay. I'm happy to give it a go. We need to boot up Suleiman, though.
How difficult is that going to be?
It shouldn't be too difficult to just plug in the right bits and make sure the internet cables, space internet cables, are connected to the rest of the ship.
They're saying that's a technology roll.
It is, yes.
Okay.
Are you able to do that
Yeah.
while I'm doing the the emerald disc, or do you need my help?
That's a question for Fayez, obviously.
Well, Fayez has technology, but he's not very skilled at it. So he rolls 4
sigh
dice.
heavily, move away from the console where the emerald disc is, and I come over to the main point for Suleiman, and I say, well, let me give you a quick lesson, and maybe you can help a little bit. So that's,
yes.
I said 6 dice before, and you make it 7.
Yep.
Messenger, help me. No, I can't get Suleiman here.
All right, so you don't get Suleiman. What? As you're trying to patch in, every time you try and sort of plug it in, a different alert kind of comes up on one of the consoles, and it's just like, no, if you unplug that, then I'm gonna don't do, and you just can't make Suleiman show up.
There's still an argument.
Fayez is thinking,
can address him.
How about the bodies that we've got there? Do they have some sort of identification tags or something that we could try, or even drag them and put their fingerprints on their fingerprint locker? Or
there's a handy arm here. We don't need a
So Fayez, over in the chair, strapped into her seat, you maybe recognise her from when you came on board. You may not have been up close for a conversation with her, but First Officer Poe is, that sort of bloodshot eyes. It looks like she died from lack of atmosphere, not anything else. And so she's there. You can see her ID tag on her lanyard kind of thing, tucked into her pocket.
So if I take that and walk over to the arms locker and see if is that useful?
Yeah. In fact, you lift this up. You sort of slowly make your way, magnetic boots across the hull, the deck to the arms locker, and you sort of wave it nearby. It asks, Commander Poe, would you like access to the arms locker? You yes, and it opens. You've got access. So looking inside. So this large grey metal cabinet, beautiful floral engravings and brass highlighting on it, has, let's see, what has it got in here? 2 Vulcan pistols, 11 shock sticks, and 11 Vulcan carbines, and various reloads.
Lord.
We can't carry all that ourselves, but we can load ourselves as many as we can. Are shock sticks light?
I'll double check. Where did I just put my book?
And Afra, I'll swap you. I point at one of the bigger weapons and ask for my little pistol back, please.
Quite happily give you your cricket back.
Thank you.
What have I done with my rule book?
Order of the Pariah? Why would I have a bookmark in the Order of Pariah? Does anybody...
I've got it. Shock stick is light.
Yep.
Hold on. That... No, sorry, that was shock whip. No, it's not light. A shock stick is not light.
Oh.
So I suggest we take the as many carbines as we can carry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vulcan carbine.
Fayez will take a shock stick anyway for himself.
Well, yeah, by all means. But I'm just thinking if we can equip.
Yeah.
And what can I carry?
Yeah. So what is your carrying capacity?
It's twice your strength, basically. You get as many slots as
your
strength. So I have strength of 3. I can carry 6 things. I've got a tool belt. I've got to keep 1 slot free for mucking about with the recon probe when it's not flying. Communicator. So I can carry 3 Vulcan carbines when I load myself up.
So I can probably carry 4 on that basis because all of my weapons are light.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll carry 4 of the Vulcan carbines. Not that I'm particularly excited by the idea of trying to use them.
Ali's got like clank straps around him. It looks thoroughly undignified compared to your normally wonderful robes.
Does it look really undignified?
Yeah. Especially this many.
No, look, actually, no, I've thought about it. I can only carry 2.
Needs must when the devil drives.
Yes.
But Fayez is here. He can carry a whole stack of them.
Yeah. So repeat the encumbrance rules.
So your strength.
And I'll carry the exosuit. I'll carry the spare exosuit because we need someone to carry that, actually.
Twice your strength.
Okay, right. I can 16, and I think I'm carrying sort of.
You got strength of 8. Crikey.
No. Sorry. 5, 10. Then.
10.
And I.
Still 5. Wow.
So.
Stevedores, man. They better.
Well, the shock stick. I think I can take sort of 8.
Excellent.
8 of something.
Yeah.
So I'm taking 8. What is
so
it?
there were 11 Vulcan carbines in total. So I think we can take all of those between us. 2 plus 5 is 4. So you could also take. Did you say there were
2 Vulcan pistols and 11 shock sticks?
And you can take another couple of shot sticks.
Yeah. So we load up on guns, lots of guns for these. Nefarious
not to be a 3-man army, I hasten to add.
Yeah, we're going to arm our friends.
Yes.
So there's 2 things. I mean, can we query, since we're at the bridge and noting it's all broken, 2 things. Is there anything we can do to fix the issue of the vacuum surrounding the chapel from here? So, for instance, could we seal doors and pressurize a section to allow the people in the chapel to escape, which seems like it's worth asking. I'm not sure if it'll work, but it's got to be worth asking.
It doesn't look like there's like there's fairly large sections of the ship around there that are like chunks of it have just exploded and explosive decompression and gone.
So there's no fixing those doors. Right,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, you could probably, if you stand at the edge of the bridge and look down the front of the ship, you can see the dome that is the chapel, like this, beautiful, like stained glass style with the icons and stuff around the edge of the dome and a beautiful clear section in the middle so you can see the stars above. And you can see the light in there sort of shining out, and then this debris field of bits of the Ghazali out in front. And you could probably see the chapel from here and the destruction around it.
Is there a working airlock around the chapel? So is there a place where we can, so we can exit atmosphere and fill atmosphere so that we can get in and out of the chapel?
Yes, there is. It's probably, you could probably see some sort of corridor connecting to it, and the ship will indicate like this airlock is sealed. Emergency airlock 27 Omega is sealed, and there is still a positive atmosphere on the other side, which will be what's keeping the chapel alive.
Okay. How many people are in the chapel?
14.
Mm-hmm.
14.
14. Crikey. That's a lot of walking. Are there any more exosuits to be found near the bridge?
No, you've got all 4 of them.
Okay, so 1 person, 3 exosuits means it's what? 4, 5 trips.
Mm-hmm.
5 trips.
Okay. Ali won't let 14 people die of suffocation in the chapel. That's not going to work. So, without any other answers, my friends, the only way I can think to rescue these people is one of us carries the other 3 exosuits to the chapel and evacuates them through that. Now, we only have to cross into another place with atmosphere. We don't have to bring them all the way back to the bridge. They can walk the rest of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but we just need to cross the
people to the
vacuum
hangar, I
space.
think, in the long term,
Yeah.
unless we can fix propulsion.
Or could we get a shuttle or something?
Can I see whether there's any working lifeboats or shuttles on the status panel here?
There are no shuttles. There are a couple of evacuation pods. Like, you could load some people up and just jettison them out into space, but those don't have
What's the
much
capacity of those?
Each of them has 8.
Cool.
I will note the locations of those, and we can direct people to them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm assuming that more rescue ships will follow.
Well, one of the things Afra did note is that it hasn't had opportunity to put out a distress signal because of the communications. You can have a look at the communication systems if you want, see what's if anything is salvageable.
I think my priority here is the souls on the ship itself and the emerald disc. If anybody else can look at comms, that will be useful.
What does comms use as a skill?
Probably be data
technology?
Yeah, it'd be data.
Or
gen.
data gen. Yeah, neither of which I had. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Ali, what's our priority? Try and get a message out, or should we be getting the emerald disc out professionally?
Okay.
I think the emerald disc is what we need.
So we need the emerald disc. I think the second priority is get the people out of the chapel because that's the last group of survivors that we're aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And then, to your point, punch them all out in the life rafts.
Yeah.
Because our ship can't carry them. Now, our ship can raise a signal, right? So
Yes.
once we get in our ship, we can do the come and help us now, please.
And also get a news at Spider Network.
Yeah, and we can be
Sahib,
first on the news. First on the news. Not that matters, of course. But, just in case it was to happen.
there is a large ship that can hold people.
What?
It's called
in the hangar?
Fatima's. Yeah, it's Fatima's Bounty. It can take maybe 60, 70, 80 people.
Right.
Oh, wow.
That's where we need to be directing people to.
So it's in the hangar, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Do I need to make a roll to get the emerald disc out?
You need to make a technology roll. It is very difficult, and it is -2.
-2. Fairs, come and help me with this.
Yes.
So I am now rolling.
Coming,
5
Sahib.
dice.
Coming.
And I get 2 successes on my first roll, so I'm going to leave it at that.
Excellent. Yeah, so it's... I wonder if Afra has had experience of removing emerald discs from downed or destroyed things before.
Fighters and the things, yeah.
So we work our way through. We unplug bits. It's not a encumbering thing to have this emerald disc. I guess to a degree it's odd to have some solid state media around of all this. It looks like a pretty chunky, well protected piece of equipment. It's probably got some fancy safeguards in here as well. You certainly won't be able to hook it up to a tabular or a recon drone and find out anything now. But once you get this back to the Red Spider network, they will have a field day trying to find out what's on this.
Cool. Okay.
You do notice as you're one of the displays next to where the emerald disc is sort of stored. It's got one of the last transmissions that the ship received. It's a text. It's like a telemetry or a text kind of information, and it seems to be stuck, like a glitching through this piece of data. As you look over it, you realize it's from the Legion ship. It's a communication from the Legion ship that they've sent over. It reads, "Warning, anomaly on entry. Unidentified sensor object. Hull breach in section 12. Hull breach in section 14. Hull breach in section 18." And for a while, it lists a lot of hull breaches on this Legion ship. Stasis chambers offline. Unstable field pattern. Decompressions in sections 3, 6, 9, 18, 24. And then it lists a lot of decompression such. Reactor spike. Activating emergency protocols. Firing aft probes. And then the screen glitches in a way you're familiar with, and it goes back again. Warning, anomaly on entry. And it's the last transmission from the big frightening Legion ship that we were escorted by.
The Zephyra.
Yes.
Right. So that sounds like something shot the hell out of them when they entered the portal. Unidentified object, and then a sudden list of penetrations to the ship, followed by a sudden list of decompressions, followed by the reactor exploding.
Yes. Is that an attack?
Well, I assume we don't get too many asteroids in the portal. So
No.
I'm going to go with that.
No.
So hold on. Are you saying this attack happened in the portal?
In
Or-
I don't
portal
know. Is
space?
that possible?
Well, I don't think so, but
Not unless you ask those crazy people who have not been in stasis in the darkness between stars, who all think terrible things are possible in that space.
yeah.
But as Brother Ramas will say, they are suffering. They need our help.
You, Ali, would firmly say there's no such thing as the darkness between the stars. I know if I have
Ali
heard you
is
say it before.
indeed.
If this
It's
is an
true.
attack,
Ali does not believe in it.
sorry,
He does
you don't
not believe in
it.
the darkness
Yeah,
between
exactly.
the stars.
So this may, if this turns out to be an attack within portal space, then maybe you need to change your belief system. Is all I'm saying.
No, Ali's like, nope.
Just waiting for science to explain it, my friend. It's just waiting for science to explain it. Okay,
Could you join the
so
I mean,
we've got the data.
It might occur
Sorry.
to Fayaz, who has got time while these two obviously have a chat about it, looking out through the front of the ship.
The great big hole, you mean?
The great big hole that is part of the bridge. Like, you can't see big floating chunks of the Legion ship around here. But that could be because you're facing the wrong way. There's nothing to worry about there.
Nothing to worry about.
It's fortunate.
Hold on.
Where is the ship?
Millie,
So
we've
what
lost yourself.
skill?
Pardon?
Oh, sorry. No, don't worry.
Okay.
Oh no, all good.
Phew.
So what skill is it to do EVA? Is it dexterity? Is it survival?
Let me see, because I think I know what you're...
I think it's generally dexterity.
Yeah,
but,
I think it is.
Yeah.
There is one portion of this adventure where it explicitly it states it.
Right.
Yes, dexterity.
Okay. Okay, I've got some dexterity and some agility.
Me too.
Who's best equipped to get these suits down to, like, so I guess the question is it quicker just to walk across the ship and find a way in, or is it quicker to go, my suspicion is that's going to be quicker than going through all of the, burnt out corridors and damaged things, even though possibly not perfect.
What are you saying, that we should go out of this great big hole in the side of the ship, walk down the side of the ship to the chapel, get in the chapel that way? Well, that sounds fun.
It could also be a way to get. What about getting? We could also get to the hangar the same way, because the hangar has external entry, right?
Yeah, of course.
So we could avoid everything between us and the hangar simply by walking along the ship.
Simply.
Spacewalks are slow.
There are horrible things that eat people.
Yeah. So, what was that?
Sorry, what was that?
Do you, Fayez, do you have much EVA experience, I say?
No, and not very much dexterity either.
And I'm just checking the oxygen levels on these exosuits. Are they good for a walk outside?
They're good for a while. If you do anything like, I don't know, fleeing from.
It makes you want to spend darkness points. You mean?
Yeah. But yeah, if you remain calm and collected and breathe naturally, it should last, a good day or so until help would arrive or until you would return to a safe portion. You could do a bunch of repairs outside on it. They're set up for that kind of thing. If you do, I don't know, running around in terror because of stuff or fancy aerobatics, you might use up your air a little bit quicker than anticipated.
Well,
all right. Well,
I'm up for it, Ali, but
So we would have to walk on the outside and then get in somewhere where two of us can get out of EVAs, the suits, and I wonder what is quickest, getting down into the corridors through the elevator shaft and removing the exos and.
Well, what we should do, I have to say, is we should go down to our crewmates by the chapel now, actually, and distribute the weapons, because there are Necatra, eating people on the ship at the moment, and we should do that first. I think I like your idea, Ali, but I think we must move quickly to deal with a number of threats, and going to the hangar on the outside of the ship may be fun, but especially for tourists like you. But in terms of saving the souls on this vessel, I think getting guns to some of the other people is possibly the first priority.
Okay.
All right. So we.
All right. Well, we're not going to run around inside the ship with the exosuits on, or are we? Is that how it works? Are they like big bulky things?
First of all, we've got to get out of the bridge before we take our exosuits off. And yes, we are going to have capacity to carry those exosuits if we're not wearing them.
And all the guns.
And the guns. But we have.
Yes.
Fayez here is a big man.
He is.
He can carry most of them.
Used to hefting everything around. Yeah.
He's loaded for Necatra. Okay.
All right.
Let's go.
We're going to leave the bridge. We close the bridge, perhaps saying a quick prayer to the Lady of Tears for the dead folk that we've left on there. Close the doors. Replace the bulkhead to maintain a seal in this room. Take some time to let it repressurize so we can then take off our suits, redistribute everything. So now we're carrying things, and we've got suits, and keep the emerald discs somewhere safe in Afra's.
I've got deep pockets on my flight suit.
The one with extra Velcro, because we don't want this to fall out. That is everything there. And then we begin a descent down the ladder. Rather awkward descent down the ladder, so we will need some kind of dexterity roll there.
Okay.
Yeah.
One success.
Oh, good.
One success.
Let me not screw this up. I should be good at dexterity. I should be good. I'm rolling 5 dice. What can go wrong?
What can go wrong?
I get 1 success.
Oh. I was hopeful to spend darkness points to make bits of guns fall down the lift shaft and disappear.
Do that anyway.
I know, but it works better if there is a failure for that narrative, doesn't it? But we successfully, and it does take a while. Like Afra's digital alarm is like dee, and we drop down to 16 hours after this bit of EVA, lots of climbing, lots of.
We've done a lot on the bridge, I think.
Yeah, we found out. We found out a lot.
Yeah.
We learnt a lot of things on that bridge, which is all good. And then we set off to hopefully find our friends who we went, the advanced chapel party, as we make our way down the corridors, the dark corridors of the Ghazali. There we go. We've been there, so I can throw them all on the floor.
Welcome to
throw that on the floor as well.
1, 3, 2, 1.
So as we are making our way along, where are we?
By the way, I have the Vulcan carbine in my hands.
Excellent.
Just to be clear. Just to be clear.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
And the stats of the Vulcan carbine, in case anyone cares, are a bonus of 1, damage 3, crit 2, range short, and auto fire.
All right. I'm gonna spend 2 darkness points to make something happen. All right. So Fayez, you're walking along. You're the big dude in this group, and as you sort of come along, maybe round a corner or past a doorway, out of the darkness leaps with a feral growl, and completely misses. So that's I'm gonna.
That's 2 darkness points well spent.
Yeah, it was. I'm gonna spend another one.
Well, it ain't over.
Let me try. They're supposed to be good at this. Oh, there we go. All right. So out of the darkness, it just, there's a scrabbling moment where it misjudges, turns around and attacks this. I mean, anybody who's seen an Akatra, this one is perhaps the one from earlier that was in the end of a losing fight. And it's here to assert some dominance in a situation by taking out a big dude. And it does. It hits you. You want to make an armor roll? Because that would be... it'd be 2 damage. Do you have some armor?
Well,
You have any armor?
yeah, 3. Yeah, I have protective clothing, but it doesn't do any good.
No, all right. So it catches
2
you
damage.
and looks overly excited at its ability to have inflicted pain and wounds upon you. We We would normally draw cards here, wouldn't we, for a little bit of initiative?
Roll dice in
Oh, is it
Coriolis.
Coriolis?
Or, I mean, we can draw cards.
No,
but,
let's not draw cards. Let's roll dice.
Okay, so D6, and highest goes first in this game, and I got a 6.
Excellent.
I got a 2.
As did I.
Excellent. So it will be Afra, the Nakatra, and then Fayaz and Ali.
Right.
And it's just the one.
It's just, well,
Nakatra.
for now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I too had my one of the carbines drawn.
Mm-hmm.
So and we need to add initiative bonuses to those.
Oh yeah, we do. It doesn't have anything.
What was the initiative bonus of that carbine? It may not be anything for the carbine.
Oh, no, it's 0 for the carbines.
Okay. Where am I at with this? I can't remember what my shooting stat is. It's the first time I've had to use it. I will try and shoot it anyway.
Yes.
And I will. I will. I'm a bit panicky.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like things coming out here, so I'm going to make this an automatic fire shot.
Ooh.
So my range combat is 2, and that goes with agility, which is 4. So normally I roll 6.
Mm-hmm.
I believe with automatic fire, I have to lose 2.
Where's Dave when you need him?
Well, Dave
I just read it. You lose.
I'm the GM.
I literally just read it. You lose 2 dice from your attack, but you get to roll an addition. So you basically then can, if you can keep on rolling a single die. Yes, or you can stop. You can actually stop. It doesn't say you have to roll a 1.
Okay.
Yes.
So with my first roll, I roll 3 1s. So I'm going to re-roll that on a prayer to the judge. Oh, which gives me an extra dice because I did preparatory prayer to the judge.
I like to note that this Nakatra has a reputation of 0.
And I still rolled 2 1s on that and no successes. So I just let loose a bunch of fire around the corridor, but I failed to hit anything.
Yeah, so shots go everywhere. This is completely caught Afra off guard. That cool pilot sort of stature shaken a little as this thing has jumped out of the darkness, and it's gonna go. Still looking like the biggest thing in the pack, and obviously these others are here to protect you, Fayez. You are the alpha, and therefore it needs to
dominate me.
Yeah, it's gonna try and it's gonna go for the throat, which is what it likes to do.
Thank you very much.
So it has to take its fast action to prepare, which means if anybody hits it later on, it's not going to have any actions left to fend that off. It's all in for this. 1, 2, 3. No successes. It just lunges for you and misjudges it. And you see that it is injured, like its back legs. Its legs are sort of big gashes, big bite marks out of it. So it lunges, doesn't quite make it, and lands a little bit short, growling at you ferally. So Fayez and Ali both had 3. This is
Two.
2, was it?
Well,
2. Yes,
yeah.
2. It had 3. You
So-
had 2. So
Well, in response to
hand-to-hand
that
combat, you go
attack,
first.
Yeah. Fayez is using his he's using his Dura knife.
Okay.
Let's see. So I roll 7.
Nice.
Then I prayed to the dancer beforehand in a chapel. So that's another 2, right?
So
No.
until you...
Oh, it's a reroll.
It's when
Okay.
you reroll,
Yeah.
when you have to.
Reroll. All right. Okay. So the 7 dice then.
Mm-hmm. Is that not enough?
And it's 1 hit. Question is,
Do you want to pray
I'm going to
now?
reroll that.
And then get...
I'm going to pray.
All right. That's where our extra dice come in.
And we get 2 more successes. So and it's got a crit of 1. So I'm going to use 1 extra for a crit. And so 2 damage plus 1. So 3 damage and a crit.
All right. You want to roll your crit?
And it doesn't have any armor to take away.
Oh, it does. No, it doesn't. Its thick fur does not help here.
Right, so we do a 44.
Ooh, where are we? Flip.
44, that's a crushed knee, I think. Stunned 1 round. Right. Oh, this is the Swedish, so I don't know if, well, we're playing according to British English rules.
Is there going to be much difference? Have we found?
Well, you never know.
I don't think in the crit table there are.
Yes, crushed knee. Stun for one turn, falls over, movement rate halved, -3 to dexterity and infiltration. So yeah, you just lunge down towards it, just jabbing the knife in. It howls. It's having a bad day. It hits the deck, and you can hear its like claws scrabbling against the metalwork to kind of gain purchase and find its way of making it back to its feet. Ali, it's down.
Yeah,
but not
so
dead.
It's down on the ground. No, that's good. I don't actually want to kill it. So Ali would like to intimidate it. He will pull out the carbine while it's on the ground, basically level it at it, and I'm happy to make a culture roll. Don't know, Niketra, is it a culture roll? Or a manipulation roll, either way. Basically, I
was going to say, yeah, I think, Niketra respond to language.
Yeah.
They are semi-intelligent.
They are semi-intelligent. You do notice that it's got one of these Legion collars around it, around its neck. Now it's down on the floor. And it might... It's... You get the feeling from the GM that it's unlikely to respond to anybody that's not maybe got the space clicker. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Right.
Perhaps an awareness from your earlier culture roll where we were trying to work out what the diggity these things could be. These things are fiercely trained. And you've confirmed it now. It is indeed a Legion Niketra. Loose.
So does that mean there's no reasoning with it?
Probably not.
That's sort of my fundamental question.
Because you would be in its eyes an enemy combatant, and it would be trained to kill you all. Really, wouldn't it? If you're not a Legion,
then I'm just gonna.
If you're not a Legion and it's been
then
let loose,
unfortunately, I'm gonna shoot it. If that's the case, then I'm gonna shoot it. Because if I can't reason with it, I'll just shoot it. So I'm going to aim while it's on the ground.
Yeah.
That seems wise. I'm not going to auto. I'm going to do the exact opposite. So 1, 2 for the aiming is 3, plus range combat is 4, plus agility is 3. So that's 7.
Wow.
7 dice. That's mostly coming from the aiming and the gun, which has a bonus of 1. Let's see. And Ali's not a great combatant. Let's just roll that out right now. So it's on the ground. Ali points his gun at it, carefully aims, and then completely misses it. Yeah.
When you squeeze the trigger, Ali, you're not supposed to close your eyes.
That's right. That's where it went wrong. Yeah. He's like,
yeah, you're not really. Yeah, you don't have that killer instinct. I know you've done hours of training, but that was on a target, not on a living.
It was on a target. That's right.
So
it wasn't on a living creature.
This carefully aimed shot at this howling, scrabbling beast on the floor hits some of the lovely decorative work on the side of the ship, and I suppose there's a moment where you all go, no explosive decompression kind of thing. Yeah, there's a quiet moment where even the Nicatra thinks about what could have happened, and that would bring us back up to Afra.
Okay, now I'm gonna hit my bloody targeting scope I didn't use last time.
Oh, yeah.
And shoot again, I think.
It's been so long since they had to do shooting. They've normally been a different style of shooting.
Yeah, it's been sort of wired for things. So this time, I think I get 6 for my actual ability and my skill. 7 for the gun, an extra bonus for the gun, 2 for my scope, and I will take an aim shot too. So I'm using 11 dice.
Wow.
This doesn't kill it. What will? And that will be 12 dice when I pray to the judge again. I'm being so damned unlucky. I'm cursing the bloody judge now. Don't let me down. And I get 2 successes. Excellent. 2 successes at last. Oh, 3 successes.
It's thick fur fails to mitigate any of that.
And the damage it does is, what did you say, the carbine? Damage 3 and crit 2. So I think I will give it the 3 points of damage it's done and spend my 2 extra successes on a crit. And 61.
61.
Ooh. The 6s are never good.
Sounds bad.
Destroyed arm.
All right, so
unconscious.
It either it's dead or it's
bleeding out.
Bleeding out. Its frantic scrabbling on the floor gets lesser and lesser. You've taken out this beast, and what Ali saw, everybody else now realizes, like this Nicatra, although it was injured, definitely has some sort of collar around its neck, some sort of I imagine like very sleek black looking thing, very tight around the neck. It's probably got some sort of branding or Legion style marks on its back, shoulder, like an identifier. You know, this is number 17 of the whatever. And it does look like it's slightly enhanced, like it's got a bigger muscle mass than perhaps a natural Nicatra we would have seen on Kua or somewhere. It's definitely an augmented, sculpted creature, but it's dying, and it looks like indeed its leg was injured even before Fayaz jammed his Dura knife into it.
Okay, camera drone. Focusing on the dying body of the Nicatra, focusing on the Legion marked collar, panning up to Ali.
Brothers, as I have said before, I believe that the Legion may have something to do with what has gone on. Look at this uncontrolled beast from the Legion's own forces, allowed to roam free without control on the ship, causing harm to the passengers and limiting our ability to save the people of the ship and get the message out.
Yeah. This
The
is,
Legion are really going to hate us at the
this
end
is
of this.
in
You know
no
that,
way
right?
going to
they're-
get the Red Spider
so-
Network in trouble once we get back to civilization.
Their Red Spider Network is always in trouble.
It is. It is.
Trouble. That's what they live for. They
That's
live
another
for that
word for
trouble.
truth, isn't it?
Yes.
That's right. That's
so,
right.
so this thing is dead on the floor. The sort of clanging and shots fired and howling maybe echoes for a moment down the corridors. And at that point, I think like the guys you've sent ahead, they enter the scene with their pipes, like, "Oh, you did it! We didn't have to save you. Thank goodness, because we probably would have died."
Bugger, I didn't sign up for this. Oh.
The other Steve does
Unfair.
agree. No, we were here. We were promised money. Are they still going to pay us? They look at like Ali.
Yes, give it to me.
Brothers, we've been called to a higher cause. Marhaban, brothers, we've been called to a higher cause. A cause that goes beyond money. We must get the truth out and find out and save our brethren.
They sort of like.
Yeah, they're not buying that one. Okay. No,
That maybe was a step too far there, Ali.
yeah, okay.
But we do have guns with which they can protect themselves from creatures like this. So that'll get them on our side.
It will, yes.
Yeah.
Shall we? We're hitting 1 o'clock now. Millie?
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say. So at this, we tool up to our preference. These gents who have come with us, and we make our way to what will be the nearest airlock to make our EVAs to the chapel. When we come back next Friday, we'll try saving these folks in the chapel.
Excellent.
Yay!
It is close to midnight, so I'm
Oh gosh,
pro
yeah,
that.
yeah. Sweet dreams.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Sweet dreams. Thanks
It's all
to
right.
everybody
It's all
who came along and watched. Thank you to Bez for the raid. They're always weird on Twitch. I still don't understand them. And yeah, thanks for joining me, folks. It's been fun. I will stop streaming because I forgot to do it
Thank you,
last time.
Millie, for running it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Millie.
Great.
That was awesome.